Hey, what's up guys, DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm doing a branded Tri-Brigade deck profile. So I'm really excited to show you guys because Tri-Brigade is an extremely consistent deck and got an insane power boost out of Albaz Strike with all of the new cards that got released, like Branded, Fusion, and Mirror Jade. And I'm really excited to show you guys my list. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name in the description of a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron, along with test stands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Tri-Brigade Fangtail. Fangtail is a really good 3-up that has the abilities you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard and then send a level 3 or lower Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your deck to the graveyard. And all of your Tri-Brigade monsters except for Mercurier in the main deck share the same ability that you can banish any number of Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monsters in your graveyard, and then special summon a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast Link monster from your extra deck with a link rating equal to the number of cards that you banished. Also, you can only use Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monsters as link material for the rest of the term. We then play 3 copies of Tri-Brigade Kit. Tri-Brigade Kit is a great 3-of as well that has the ability that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send a Tri-Brigade card from your deck to the graveyard, which is a great effect to just start stacking the graveyard with all sorts of Tri-Brigade cards to be able to then use their ability to banish and special summon out some extremely powerful link monsters. We then play 3 copies of Tri-Brigade Nearval. Nearval is a great 3-of as well because it has an incredible effect that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Tri-Brigade monster from your deck to your hand, which is always great to be able to search cards like Fangtail or even the new card Mercurier to your hand so you have some incredible plays. We then play 2 copies of Tri-Brigade Cuirass. Cuirass is a good 2-of. You don't usually want to draw into this card, but it has a really good effect that you can discard one other Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster and then special summon this card from your hand, so it's a good 2-of in my opinion. We then play a single copy of the new Tri-Brigade Mercurier. Mercurier is a great 1-of for this deck because you can do so much stuff with this card that when your opponent activates a monster effect, well, you control a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz as a material quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or face some of your field to the graveyard to negate that effect. And if this card is banished, then you can add from your deck to your hand 1 Fallen of Albaz or 1 monster that mentions it except another copy of this card. This card is absolutely incredible in this deck and helps out this deck a lot for being able to just get to those Albaz cards that you need. We then play one of the most powerful normal summons, if not the most powerful normal summon in the entire deck, and that's going to be 3 copies of Rescue Cat. This card is absolutely incredible in this deck. You send this card to the graveyard and then you get to special summon out 2 level 3 or lower beast monsters from your deck, but their effects are negated, and also they're destroyed during the end phase, and you can only affect this card once per turn. This card is crazy good in this deck to be able to just normal summon it and get multiple cards out on your side of the field, and it's just a really good 3-of. We then play a single copy of Fallen of Albaz so we can use the Branded Fusion to be able to go into cards like Mirror Jade. So this card is just a 1-of in my opinion in this particular build. It's also a super poly on legs, which is really awesome. We then play a single copy of Albion the Shrouded Dragon. This card is basically an upstart goblin, but it has the ability that this card's name becomes Fallen of Albaz while in the field or in the graveyard, and if this card is in your hand or graveyard, then you can send a Fallen of Albaz or a Branded Spell or Trap from your hand or deck to the graveyard and then apply the effect based on where you sent the card from. If you send it from your hand, then you can special summon this card, but if you send it from the deck, you place this card on the bottom of the deck, and then if you place this card on the bottom of the deck from your hand, then you can draw a card, which the card you're always going to be sending to the graveyard off this card's effect is going to be your Branded Sword that you're going to be sending to the graveyard to be able to get these effects. We then play for the hand traps. We're going to be playing 2 copies of Ghost Bell because it's just a really good hand trap to lock down the graveyard. 2 copies of DD Crow so we can banish cards out of the graveyard, which is really helpful for this deck. 3 copies of Ash Blossom because Ash Blossom is just an incredible hand trap overall to be able to stop the opponent from touching the deck. And then 3 copies of Psyframe Gear Gamma to be able to stop our opponent from using monster effects while we don't control the monster. This card is really, really good to be able to stop our opponent from hitting cards like Rescue Cat or any of the cards that activate when we don't have a card on the field, like our Tri-Brigades in the graveyard for banishing themselves for special summoning out those monsters. We then play a single copy of Driver to be able to back up that copy of Gamma to be able to special summon it to our side of the field off the Gamma's effect. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing some really powerful spells in this deck. So we're going to start out with a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is really good to be able to get your Tri-Brigade cards in the graveyard so you can start making some incredible plays. One copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, just so we don't have to deal with the back row. This is very, very important for the deck to be able to just activate Harpy's Feather Duster and be able to stop the opponent from using any of their back row against us while we're going in for our awesome plays. One copy of Call by the Grave, just to stop our opponent from hand trapping us. This is really good to combo, especially with Gamma, to basically have 4 ways to stop our opponent from hand trapping us. One copy of Fire Formation Tinky. Fire Formation Tinky searches Fangtail, which is really, really good to be able to just get that card to your hand because it's one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck. We then play a single copy of Branded Fusion because we're going to use Anaconda to get this card to work because it has an incredible effect that you get to fusion summon a fusion monster that mentions a Fallen of Albaz as a material from your extra deck using 2 monsters from your hand, deck, or field, which is really, really good to be able to just send those cards to the graveyard so you can get that really powerful monster, Mirror Jade, on your side of the field. We then play 2 copies of Triple Tactical Talents. I did consider bumping this card up to 3 in this particular build to basically just give us those incredible effects that if our opponent does hand trap us, we can either draw 2 cards, take an opponent's monster, or we can look at our opponent's hand and choose one and shuffle it back into the deck, which is really, really good to be able to use against the opponent if they do hit us with a hand trap. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Tri-Brigade Revolt. You only really need a single copy of this card, but it's a really, really good one-of, in my opinion. It has a really awesome fact that you get to special summon a number of your Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monsters that are banished or in the graveyard, but negate their effects. And then immediately after this card resolves, you get to link summon a Tri-Brigade Link monster using only those monsters as a material, which this card is really, really good to be able to just activate and summon out cards like Shirog to your side of the field, so you can get those really powerful monsters. We then play a single copy of Branded Sword. Branded Sword is a good one-of that you're going to be sending to the graveyard off of Albion's effect. It is just a really good one-of that has the ability to banish any number of branded spells or traps from your graveyard, and then you get special summon Ice Blade tokens to your side of the field that are Dragon Dark level 8, 2500 attack, 2000 defense. That effect does not come up all that often. The effect that we're going to be using on this card is that you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target one of your banished monsters that is a Fallen of Albaz monster or mentions it and add that monster to your hand, so you can actually use this card with Mercurier, which is really, really awesome. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is a good hand trap as well to back up all the other hand traps that we're playing in this deck to basically just stop our opponent from using monster effects. So this card is a really, really good card, and also it can stop spells and traps that are activated in the same column as it, so it's really, really powerful. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade is extremely easy to summon this deck, and it's just an incredible boss monster that takes a Fallen of Albaz plus a Fusion, Synchro, XZ, or Link monster to fusion summon into this card, and you can only control 1 copy of this card. And then once per turn, quick effect, you can send a fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard that mentions a Fallen of Albaz as a material, and you can banish 1 monster on the field, which is a really awesome effect, but you can't use this card's effect in the next turn, which is not that big of a deal, but it's still a really powerful card. This card also has the ability that if this card, or if this fusion summon card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, then you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls during the end phase, which is extremely powerful. Because the only way that your opponent's going to really be able to deal with this is to be able to bounce it back to the extra deck to be able to just avoid that effect. So this card is an incredible boss monster. We then play a single copy of Begrand the Glory Dragon. This card is a really good one-up that works with all of our Tri-Brigade cards and is a beast fusion monster. It takes a Fallen of Albaz plus a level 8 or higher monster, which you can use Albion to summon this card to your side of the field, and it can't be destroyed by battle. And then while you control this fusion summon card, your opponent cannot target other monsters you control with monster effects, which is a really awesome thing. But you can usually send this card to the graveyard with your copy of Mirror Jade to be able to get its other effect, that if this card, or during the opponent's during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, then you can add to your hand or special summon a Tri-Brigade monster or a Fallen of Albaz from your deck. You usually don't summon this card, but you're usually going to use that effect to be able to get that Tri-Brigade card that you need off the Mirror Jade's effect. We can play a single copy of Albion, the Branded Dragon. This card is a good one of in the deck because you use it with your copy of Mirror Jade to be able to get its other effect that during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, then you can add to your hand or set a branded spell or trap directly from your deck, which is a really, really good effect. We then played 2 copies of the Tri-Brigade Shirog. Shirog is a really good card in this deck. I did consider playing 3 copies of this card, but I ended up with 2 because of how tight the extra deck is. But this card is a really, really good 2-of that has the ability, if this card is special summon, or if another Beast, Warrior, Winged Beast monsters is special summoned to your field, then you can banish 1 card on the field, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Beast, Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand whose level is less than or equal to the number of banished Beast, Warrior, Winged Beast monsters, which is a really, really awesome effect. I then play a single copy of Silver Sheller. Silver Sheller is a good 1-of in this deck. I don't feel like I need any more than 1 copy of this card, but it's still a really, really good 1-of. We then play a single copy of Barren Blossom. Barren Blossom is a card that I really did want to play as a 2-of in this particular build, but again, I couldn't find room. But it has a really good effect that during your main phase, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Beast, Warrior, Winged Beast monster from your hand, and also you cannot use other monsters as link material for the rest of the turn, except for Beast, Warrior, Winged Beast monsters. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can draw a card and then place a card from your hand on the bottom of the deck, which is a really good effect. We then play a single copy of the Tri-Brigade Rampager. This card is a good 1-of in the deck because it just helps out with so many different plays, because you discard 2 cards and then target one of your banished level 4 lower Beast, Warrior, Winged Beast monsters and special summon it, which is a awesome effect. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Tri-Brigade spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which can get you 2 copies of your Revolt, and also has the ability that then you place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck, and also you can't special summon for the from the extra deck you can't summon for the rest of the turn except for Tri-Brigade monsters, which is not that big of a deal. We then play a single copy of Access Code Talker because it gives us a bunch of different pops in the deck, and we're going to be getting a bunch of different types of monsters in the graveyard. You can drop this for Boral Sword if you want to, or another copy of the Barren Blossom if you want to go a little bit more budget of an option for you guys, but it's still a really, really good 1-of in this deck. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa because Appaloosa is just an incredible card that's going to get us multiple monster negates. 1 copy of Doom Eagle. Doom Eagle is really good now because it has the ability that it gains 2400 attack while the opponent has no monsters in their graveyard, but the really awesome effect is that you can quick effect target a monster in your opponent's graveyard and shuffle it into the deck, which is really good to be able to bounce certain cards that your opponent wants in the graveyard back in the deck. 1 copy of Double Dragon Lords. Double Dragon Lords is easy to summon in this deck and is just a really good card because it has the ability that you can quick effect send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard and then target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and return to the hand. But this card is really good because it works really well with the Tri-Brigade package. 1 copy of Anaconda because you're going to use it with your Branded Fusion to summon out Mirror Jade to your side of the field using this card and your Fallen of Albaz as a material, which is really, really awesome. 1 copy of Salamangreat Alamirage because it's just really good in the deck to normal summon something out to your field that has 1000 or less attack and link into this card to get cards in your graveyard. And then finally, since we're playing Gamma, 1 copy of Psyframe Lord Omega so we can rip a card out of the opponent's hand after we use a copy of Gamma, which is really, really awesome. And it also gets us to a 2800 attack point monster. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to be able to play with, and actually not that crazy of a budget to be able to pick this deck up, to be able to play some different hand traps besides like Ash Blossom. You can change them out for like effect veilers and stuff like that, but the Tri-Brigade package is very, very cheap, and then you just need pretty much 3 of the structure deck to be able to play this deck, so you can pick it up fairly cheaply, which is really, really nice. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.